Welcome everyone to the final part of Chapter 3. After analyzing both sides of the market, the demand and the supply side, we are going to bring both forces together in order to know how the price of the good is determined, what quantities are traded, and what causes this situation to change. So let's begin. Now, first let's see how the prices are determined in the market and what quantities are traded. We can find that both forces of supply and demand interact together to determine the price and quantity of a good. The price adjusts to coordinate the buying and selling plans of consumers and producers, and here we reach what we call market equilibrium. So, what do we mean by market equilibrium? The market equilibrium refers to a situation whereby the supply and demand are balanced, yielding an equilibrium price and an equilibrium quantity. The equilibrium price is the price at which the quantity demanded equals the quantity supplied. And this quantity is called the equilibrium quantity, which represents the quantity bought and sold in the market. Let's look at the example in order to understand better. Consider the market of cola. We can find that the supply and demand are balanced at the price of 6. Okay, at this price we can find that the quantity demanded equals the quantity supplied equal 4 cans of cola. And this is what we call equilibrium of the market. Note that at any price lower than the equilibrium price, say at the price of 2 or at the price of 4, the quantity demanded exceeds the quantity supplied. And this is what we call a shortage in the market. What do we mean by shortage? A shortage means that the consumers want to buy more quantities than what the producer wants to provide at this price. For example, at the price of 4, the consumers want to buy 5 cans of cola, while the producers are only willing to provide 2 cans of cola at this price. This means that there is a shortage in the market. This shortage creates an upward pressure on the price, so the price tends to rise. The price tends to rise, okay, until we reach equilibrium again. As the price rises from 2 to 4, the quantity demanded will decline and the quantity supplied will increase, and this process continues until we reach equilibrium at the price of 6. We can find here that the consumer are willing to buy 4 cans of cola at the price of 6, and also the producers are willing to provide them those 4 units at this price. Alternatively, at any price higher than the equilibrium price, we can find that the quantity demanded falls short of the quantity supplied, or the quantity supplied exceeds the quantity demanded. This state is called a surplus in the market. What do we mean by a surplus in the market? A surplus means that the producers are willing to provide more units than what the consumers are willing to buy at this price. For example, at the price of 8, we can find that the producers are willing to supply 6 cans of cola, while the consumers are only willing to purchase 3 units or 3 cans of cola. When there is a surplus in the market, this creates a downward pressure on the price, so the price tends to fall. As the price falls from 12 to 10, the quantity demanded increases while the quantity supplied decreases. We can find that there is, at the price of 10, there is also a surplus on the market. So the price will tend to decrease further to 8. When the price decreases from 10 to 8, we will find that the quantity demanded increases and the quantity supplied decreases. This process continues until we reach equilibrium at the price of 6. At this price, we can find that the producers are willing to supply 4 units of cola or 4 cans of cola, and at the same time, the consumers are willing to purchase those 4 units at this price. By looking at the equilibrium graphically, we can find that the equilibrium is reached at the point of intersection between the supply curve, the point of intersection between the supply curve and the demand curve. At this point of intersection, we can see that the equilibrium price is 6 and the equilibrium quantity is 4. Both supply and demand are equal at this price. At any price below the equilibrium price, we can find that the quantity supplied is less than the quantity demanded. This is the quantity demanded, and this is the quantity supplied. At the price of 4, which is a price lower than the equilibrium price, we can see that the quantity demanded is 5 units, while the quantity supplied is 2 units. This creates a shortage in the market, and when there is a shortage in the market, the price tends to rise. The price tends to rise until we reach equilibrium at 6. Only at this price, the quantity supplied equals the quantity demanded. Okay? On the other hand, at any price above the equilibrium price, we can find that the quantity supplied is greater than the quantity demanded. This is the quantity supplied. The quantity supplied equals 8, while the quantity demanded equals what? The quantity demanded equals 2 at the price of 10. This means that there is a surplus in the market, and when there is a surplus in the market, the price tends to fall until we reach equilibrium again. At the price of 6, we can find that the quantity supplied equals the quantity demanded. Therefore, at the point of equilibrium, the price does not change. There is no tendency for the price to change. And this is why we call the equilibrium a situation whereby no one wants to change his position. Neither the consumers nor the producers want to change their consumption decisions or production decisions at this price. Okay? Now, let's turn to another important question. What causes the market equilibrium to change? A change in market equilibrium could result from a change in demand or a change in supply or a change in both of them. Let's consider first the effect of a change in demand on the market equilibrium. And when we say that we want to see the effect on market equilibrium, we mean that we want to see how a change in demand changes equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. Okay, we know that a change in demand results from a change of any of its determinants other than the price. Any other determinant than the price of the good could lead to a change in demand and the shift in the demand curve. For example, if there is an increase in income of consumers, the demand curve will increase and shifts to the right, as we see in the figure at the left. When the demand curve shifts to the right, to D1, we can see that this causes a disequilibrium in the market. The initial equilibrium point is at PE, the price PE, and the quantity QE. When there is a shift in demand, now at the price of PE, we can see that there is a disequilibrium in the market. The quantity demanded is not equal to the quantity supplied. The quantity demanded now is at point A, which is greater than the quantity supplied at point E. And this means that there is a shortage in the market. When there is a shortage in the market, what happens? As we have just discussed, we said that when there is a shortage in the market, whereby the quantity demanded exceeds the quantity supplied, the price tends to rise. So the price will rise until we reach a new equilibrium at a higher price, and a higher quantity. Okay, therefore, an increase in demand leads to a rise in the equilibrium price and quantity. On the other hand, if there is a fall in the price of a substitute good, this leads to a decline in demand and shift of the demand curve to the left, causing also a disequilibrium in the market at the current price. Okay, the initial equilibrium point is at the price is at point E, the price is BE, and the quantity is QE. When there is a decline in demand, we said that the demand curve will shift to the left from D to D1. At the initial equilibrium price, or the old equilibrium price, we can see that there is a disequilibrium in the market. The quantity demanded is less than the quantity supplied. At this price, we can see that there is a surplus in the market. Surplus in the market. This surplus means that the quantity supplied is greater than the quantity demanded at PE. What happens when there is a surplus in the market? We can see that when there is a surplus in the market, the price tends to decline. So the price will decline until we reach a new equilibrium at a lower price and lower quantity at Q1 and B1. A second cause for the equilibrium to change is when there is a change in supply. Again, what causes supply to change? The supply could change if any of the factors affecting it other than the price changes, such as the production costs. For example, if wages fall, the supply will increase and shift to the right. As we see in the figure at the right, the initial equilibrium is at point E. The initial equilibrium is at point E. The equilibrium price is BE and the equilibrium quantity QE. If the wages fall, the supply curve will shift to the right from S to S1. From S to S1. Okay? This creates this equilibrium in the market at this price. At the price PE, we can see that the quantity supplied exceeds the quantity demanded at this price. Therefore, there is a surplus in the market. What this means? It means that there is that the producers now are willing to provide more units than what the consumers want to buy at this price PE. Accordingly, when there is a surplus in the market, we say that the price will tend to fall until we reach a new equilibrium at P1 and Q1. At P1 and Q1, we can find that the quantity supplied equals the quantity demanded. On the other hand, if wages increases, the supply will fall and shift to the left. As we can see in the figure at the left, the initial equilibrium also at point E, equilibrium price PE, equilibrium quantity QE, whereby the quantity supplied equals the quantity demanded. When the supply shifts to the left from S to S1, there will be this equilibrium in the market. The quantity supplied now falls short of the quantity demanded at the price of PE. At this price now, the quantity supplied is at P and the quantity demanded is at point E. This means that the consumers want to buy more units than the producers are willing to sell at this price, which creates a shortage in the market. Okay, this difference is a shortage in the market, meaning that the quantity demanded exceeds the quantity supplied at this price. Accordingly, the price will tend to rise until we reach a new equilibrium point at E asterisk at a higher price and a lower quantity. Therefore, a decline in the supply or a decrease in the supply will cause the supply curve to shift to the left, reaching a new equilibrium point at a higher price and lower quantity. Now we have completed our analysis of the demand and supply model. Thank you for listening.